Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode here in NHL 23. So in last episode, we simulated the rest of the season. We also made a trade trying to get our team into the playoffs for the second half of the season, but our team unfortunately missed the playoffs. But there is a lot of good positives to take away from a season that you missed the playoffs. So you got to look at those type of positives to keep a level head and hopefully think of the positive things that could happen down the road. Like, for example, Asher Vance hit 50 goals this season, so he's definitely living up to that contract that we gave him, and he's been getting better every single season in terms of goals. And yeah, hopefully he could become like a 60 goal guy at some point of his career. And obviously, with him being locked up for 8 years, at least we have that. There's also good things to take away. Like, Holtinen has been a pretty good hybrid production player. 81 points in 82 games this season, playing on that top line, I think it was. Byfield's been kind of dropping off a little bit, but I mean, we could always try and look to try and trade him away a bit. But he's been consistent, I'd say, a little bit in point production. But his production from a few years ago, it's dropped down quite a bit, and his plus minus has as well. So I don't really know what the case is there. There is also definitely some negatives to take away. Like, for example, Ville Pettersson's a minus 15 for some reason this season, and he's not really living up to that elite potential, which is kind of weird. I wouldn't mind at some point, if we end up trading Byfield at some point, because some people always say to trade Byfield. I don't know if we keep Pettersson and just randomly try him on the top line with fans to see if that helps out or not. Or we could just leave him as a second liner. But for some reason, even though Pettersson's a two-way forward, he has had some plus-minus issues. He's a minus 78 through 47 games. So it's a bit weird. Maybe he's the type of guy that we'd flip away at some point too, because I know some people were suggesting that. But we do have an abundance of centermen, so there is guys that we could probably flip out at some point. But yeah, a lot of minuses on this team, but at least the top guys, even Bale's got some NHL time. He's going to be more than likely jumping to the NHL next season. But the top guys like Halton and Vance, the two of these guys obviously carried this team pretty much offensively. So hopefully those guys continue to produce at the NHL level. And yeah, obviously goaltending was a little bit weird. We had a combined 8 shutouts, but both goaltenders to me were not that good. If they had a goal saved above expected, it would probably be negative, I'd guess negative 15 or something, negative 10. Both of them were not good at all. The save percentage on Comesso is a little bit higher, obviously, but Tarasov was absolute shit. Comesso was actually worse at one point, but it seems like he improved a bit in the second half. But anyways, before we get into an awesome draft ahead and Resign stage, I do have quite a few comments to go through. So the first one is from HockeyGuy88. He says, disappointing that you missed the playoffs, but great to see Vance improving. I would also like to see, also definitely take Shrimp with your first pick. So we have the 9th overall pick, and there is an offensive defenseman that is medium elite supposed to go in that spot. His name, I believe, is Connor. Cameron Shrimp. Okay, so Cameron Shrimp, he's an offensive defenseman, right-handed, so basically this guy would be able to take over for Cale Makar as that top right-handed offensive defenseman, or he could end up becoming like Ole Harrick in my what is it, Ice Tigers series, who will only get up to an 86 overall. So hopefully Cameron Shrimp develops quite well. As you can see, this is his abilities and his shooting and stuff like that. He's not very physical and not great defensively, but hopefully he's kind of a pure offensive defenseman, and hopefully he could help pick up a lot of points from our back end and also maybe do some decent defense. Who knows? So we're going to more than likely take him with our 9th overall pick if he is available, which hopefully is the case. Also, I was asking Hawks fan if it's worth trading for a late first round pick to grab another defenseman, because there is a defenseman in the late first round I'd like to get, and I would also like to get a defenseman early in the second round who is a shutdown low elite. But I was asking him if it was worth trying to get Len Morris, who is a late first round pick. Apparently, he's supposed to be NHL ready, which is pretty crazy. So more than likely we are going to be trying to move up to get, or well, not trying to move up, I should say, trying to add another first round pick to get this guy. So what I'm thinking of doing is probably, since we have an abundance of centers, maybe moving out somebody like Brad Lambert here or Zari maybe Kurashev, but probably like somebody like Lambert would help us get that first round pick a lot easier. So I think we might end up doing like Lambert or Zari and grabbing ourselves Len Morris as well. So that way we get 3 really good defenders out of 1 draft, which would definitely help us in terms of hopefully being a better defensive team down the road. Next comment is from Rahul B. He says, it might be time to move on from Pettersson because he's always a hefty minus player as a two-way forward, and you essentially have the same player in Recchi. He may have no X factors or abilities, but he's producing about the same amount as Pettersson is. I think what the team needs is a top-line playmaker for Vance because he is the goal scorer, and Haltonen has more hybrid production. So he's saying to get somebody that would fit into that top line that is a playmaker, and probably to move out Pettersson. I mean, I could try and like look at some offers when we get into the draft just to see what we could potentially get for Pettersson, like with like an open block or something like that. But I don't really know if I'm going to flip him or not because I feel like he still has his potential, right? I know he's not necessarily developing well and he's always minus, but maybe if like we gave him a shot as a top line center at some point and like Byfield moved out at some point too, maybe that would be better for him. I don't know. Maybe once the team actually gets a lot better, he'll be better plus minus wise. But I do agree his time is kind of running a little bit out, I'd say. Considering he's getting paid, I think, how much was it? Like 5 million? Like he's kind of capping out as like a first line player in a sense, or a second line forward. Yeah, we gave him 5.35. I don't know if that stunted his growth or not, considering we didn't give him like a $9 million deal. Hopefully that same type of thing doesn't happen with Vance, but at least Pettersson's still young, because I do like having younger players than a bunch of older guys. So for now, I think we'll hold on to Pettersson, but I will look at offers potentially that we could get for him. And if there's something like a top 6 playmaker that could actually work with Vance really well, I think then we might end up looking to do something like that next episode, probably like free agency wise, because I don't think I'm going to make an actual trade at the draft. The next comment is from Paul D, who says, trade Byfield to get a high draft pick and play Braden Schneider in the top 4. Consider new goalies for next season. So that's a bit of an interesting one. Let me actually go back to the contract situation. So Byfield, like I said, Byfield is definitely somebody we could potentially flip. That way Pettersson maybe gets a better chance on that top line, or we even get somebody like, I don't know, Nazar up there. But yeah, there is a chance Byfield could get dealt as well. He's only signed for another like 4 seasons, is that, or 5? 4 seasons, I think. But yeah. He's kind of an interesting one. His production has been okay at times. He's been a good playoff player also at times, I believe. Let me check. He has 7 points in the last 5 games in the one in 2027-28, 3 assists in the one before, and 14 points in 11 games in the one before that. So, I mean, he's a decent player when we need him most, but obviously, like, if we need to find that top 6 playmaker that Rahul was mentioning, then something like moving Byfield or Pettersson might actually work. And he was saying to play Braden Schneider in the top 4. Schneider doesn't have a guaranteed contract going into next season, while everybody else here does, so we'd have to probably trade somebody like Wu in order for Schneider to get into the top 4. The thing is, I don't think I'm willing to do that, so I don't really know if Braden Schneider is going to actually stay with his team. He might stay with his team since he's an actual solid top 6 defenseman. But we do need to try and get that top 6 pairing to being a little bit better. So we'll see if we were able to bring back Schneider on like a 1-year deal or something like that, but I don't know if he will be. And then he also said to consider new goalies. Well, Comesso is going to stay here for this next season since he's only signed for 2 more years. But then if he's still simulating kind of we might end up letting him walk. Tarasov is only signed for 1 more year, well, he's actually not even signed for next season, so he's probably going to just be let go of, and then we could find ourselves a new backup for Comesso. And then the final comment is from Sanu Otaku, who says, your AHL team had the Rookie of the Year, the best goal scorer, and the best goalie, but they didn't make it past the first round. GGEA, which is true. Our AHL team was absolutely really good last season, mainly because of Bales, who is going to be in the NHL next season. But for some weird reason, this AHL team got bounced in the first round, which makes no sense whatsoever. But anyways, that is the comments I got from the last episode. So let's get into the draft and try and trade for a late first round pick. And then we will be able to snag 3 defensemen. Let me show you guys the other defenseman just because you guys might forget from last episode, or you didn't watch right till the end because it's like a long episode, I guess. But Yuri Ovechkin is the guy I'm going to be taking in the second round. He's apparently 1 year out, and he is a left-handed defensive defenseman, which would be perfect to pair with a right-handed offensive defenseman we get in the first round. So I'd like to get all three of these defensemen if possible, and hopefully that bolsters our defensive core for the future, and also for like maybe even as early as next season, considering two of those guys are NHL ready, I think. So let's get into that draft and try and trade for that spot. Where is he actually supposed to go, Len Morris? I need to make sure I know where I'm drafting him. He's supposed to go right around 28th, but I would probably try and trade for like pick 25. So I think moving out maybe Lambert or something like that would work for that type of thing. So let's get into this draft, and who has number 25? I'll go with, just to play it safe, because I do not want to risk missing out on that guy. So the Pittsburgh Penguins want to move number 25. That's perfect. Okay, Pittsburgh. Let's see if we can make a deal with you. Do you want Lambert? Yes, you do. Perfect. And while Lambert has more value than the first round pick, so we were able to get back some extra stuff from this, which is actually kind of nice. What else do they have on their block? Not really any good prospects that I would take on. I'd probably just take another pick in the draft. Maybe not this year's draft, maybe something for next year. Like a second rounder for next year might be intriguing. I don't know if that's too much value though. That might work. A first for this year, that's 25th overall in the second rounder. And we give up Brad Lambert, who's on a 6-year deal still at 2.95. So it's a good contract for Brad Lambert, especially if he ends up developing, because I have seen that happen before. But we end up getting that late first round pick that we want. Let me actually take a comparison and see what Zari's value is like, just because maybe we want to move Zari instead. But I think Zari, I kind of like him better, just because of his face-off numbers. Yeah, Zari wouldn't even fetch a first rounder, so it's got to be Lambert. Because, yeah, Zari, basically, he has better face-off stats. Lambert's a better offensive production guy, but we need more defensively minded guys probably for the bottom six anyways. So, yeah, Lambert for a first and a second. This is a good deal for Pittsburgh, I think, as well, because obviously they get like a legitimate guy that could get into maybe their top six even, and not be too cost effective. So yeah, Lambert for a first and a second, and we get that 25th overall pick. That should secure us that defenseman that is supposed to be NHL ready, I think it was. So there you go. There's a good trade with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Sucks to trade away somebody like Brad Lambert, but we do need to rework this team a little bit. So there's our trade. Let's actually take a look at some fine trade options just to see what we could get for somebody like Pettersson or Byfield. So what type of things could Byfield fetch us? Nothing right now. What about Pettersson, who is going through a little bit of a tough time? DeMello, who's medium elite, who's on his ELC, and a first round pick, 19th overall. That is interesting. That is interesting. DeMello is a left winger, only 56 though. And he's a sniper. If this guy was like a 60, 70 something, that might make more sense. But we'd get 19th overall out of this trade, which would be pretty interesting. But it would be just a top 6 forward, basically. So I don't like that trade. We'll try and find some other stuff in free agency-wise. But let's take a look at this top 5 of the draft. So the Montreal Canadiens draft Jaden Grabowski. We'll say the son of Mikhail Grabowski. This guy's why not? Pretty solid. DFD at first overall, though, is always a little bit iffy. Detroit at number 2 is going to take Barnett, who's a 79 two-way forward. So this draft might be a little bit weaker in terms of overall ratings, but there's Fabian Barnett. Weird name. But yeah, probably a really good defensive forward for the Detroit Red Wings. Islanders at number 3 take Frolov, who's a 79 sniper medium elite. So all three of these top 3 guys are the same overall, which is interesting. You don't really see that often. Usually there's a drop-off. There's probably going to be a drop-off here, though, my guess. 78, so still not that bad, though. In Lincoln Wheeler, another DFD. Interesting. And then at number 5, the Vegas Golden Knights are going to take Morita, who's a 78 two-way forward. So the top 5 pretty deep in terms of, like, all of them are almost the same rating, but it is a little bit of a weaker draft class in a sense, it looks like. Okay, let's simulate to our pick at number 9 here. And, oh, you bitch-ass Boston. No. No, you gotta be joking me. The AI actually made a smart decision and took the medium elite earlier. He was projected to go number 9. And Cameron Shrimp is out of our reach. Goddamn, I know I should have maybe tried to move up a little bit. Well, Cameron Shrimp is a Boston Bruin now. Unfortunately, he's only 76, which is a bit weird, but we're not going to be able to get ourselves that offensive defenseman that I was hoping to get. Now we got to find ourselves a steal, but at least we got that late first-round pick to get ourselves another solid player. But what do I go with here because nobody else suggested anything else? Maybe NHL ready for Ville Niittymaki. He might be only top 4, but I think he might be the guy. 2 years out for Jonathan Cruz is also pretty solid, though. Sanders is probably a top 6 forward. So, yeah, I think we got to take another right-handed defenseman just because our defensive core is our defensive core. Looking like a two-way defender. I can't tell if this guy's elite or not. Probably not elite, but he could be just another top 4 defenseman. So, yeah, we're just going to take Niittymaki with this pick. Unfortunately, we get no chance of getting... Oh, these guys are NHL ready too, actually. Wait a second. Oh, Bonvi isn't, but Zetterberg would also be a good pick, but I don't think we need Zetterberg. He's another two-way forward. Yeah, let's just take Niittymaki to defenseman here. He might be an offensive defenseman based on his size, too. He's only 5'9", 177, so let's take Niittymaki with our pick. 75 overall offensive defenseman, medium top 4. I mean, at least it's a close overall to Shrimp, but it's no elite potential player. We'll see if this guy pans out, but if this guy does pan out, at least we still have a right-handed offensive defenseman. But damn you, Boston. You weren't supposed to take Shrimp early. Did not see that coming, to be honest, because usually the AI always, like, when it's comes to an elite player, they somehow skip on him sometimes, so. God damn it. Boston actually made a smart decision. Okay, let's simulate to our late first-round pick that we got in the Brad Lambert deal. That's why we moved up a little bit extra spots, just because we do not want to risk missing out on Len Morris. So, Len Morris is going to be our second pick here in the draft. He is supposed to be NHL ready as well, and he looks like he's going to be low elite potential. So, we will take him up here in the late first round. And wow, okay, 77 low elite two-way defenseman. So, that was definitely worth moving up for. And he does have X factors as well, which is awesome. 83 defensive awareness, some solid offense, but more defensively minded. He's got send it as his own ability, so he should be able to get some good assists. He's also good at back at you, so hitting people like reverse hits. In reverse, good back skating, and good defensive stick lifts. Not bad. So there is what we got basically to get Brad Lambert, or get rid of Brad Lambert. So we got 2 good defensemen in this draft. Sucks that we didn't get that elite guy in the first round, though, because I wanted him to play alongside the DFD we're going to be getting in the second round, which let me just take a look and make sure he's going in the right spot so we don't have to move up again. He's supposed to go 47th, so yeah, we should be able to get him with our next pick. Okay, let's see if we can grab him up here. We should be able to. He should be still there. Yes, he is. Okay, good. Okay, so Yuri Ozelinch. Why am I saying Ozelinch? Ovechkin. I don't know why I thought I saw Ozelinch for a second. But he's 1 year out, so we're getting another defenseman that's probably in the 70 overall range, which is awesome. And he's guaranteed to have good hitting, defensive play, and that type of thing. So at least we're getting a good steal here in the second round to make up for the fact that we lost out on a really good offensive defenseman. But here we go. Yuri Ovechkin, 71 overall low elite defensive defenseman. Just imagine if we would have gotten an elite offensive defenseman as well in this draft. We would have been hitting home run after home run. But there you go. So we have 370 overall defensemen we got in this draft. The first rounder is the lowest potential in a sense because he's only medium top 4. But these low elites could maybe be the worst potential as well. So, but it should be interesting. I don't know which one of these guys are, if I'm going to give ELCs to all 3 of those guys going into the next episode. Because I think all of them could probably play in the AHL level, if I'm not mistaken. Since some of them played in the United States, some in Russia, that type of thing. But still, really good draft for us so far, all things considered. Looks like the draft class is dropping off a little bit. Maybe we want to try and go in for a forward this time. Victor Leddy. Leddy should be interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Leddy because he might be a top 6 forward, but he's probably going to end up being like a medium top 9 like the rest of these guys, my guess. Let's just take a look at those top 9s. What about Hickey? Yeah. We're going to take a chance with this guy that might be medium top 6. So Victor Leddy, welcome aboard. He's a top 9 as I was expecting. 60 overall though, pretty decent. Maybe he becomes something at the AHL level. I don't think he's going to become an NHLer because I have rarely seen top 9s pan out, but you never know. Next pick, what do we want to grab here? Maybe another goalie prospect, Topi Tukio. Really good stats over there in Finland. And decent ratings potentially as well. 4 years out. Yeah, let's take Topi Tukio here, just in case we need another goaltending prospect. 61 overall, not bad. Not bad at all. This guy might be a future goalie for us, who knows. Maybe a backup at the most, but regardless, he might make the NHL if he gets good development at the AHL level once he gets there, because I think he should be able to at some point. Danny Dayton might be a lowly. There's also McIver, 5 years out. Dayton is 4 years out. I might go with another defenseman here. Don't have anybody else pinned. Any guaranteed low leads? Not until like the late 7th round potentially. Yeah, I probably would take that guy in the 7th round. That Matty, not Rakashani. Goddamn, I'm thinking of Rhett Rakashani. Pakaslotti is what I'm trying to say. So I guess we will take a chance. Wait a second. Let me take a look at some of these other guys. Where was the other low elite potential guy? Or was I already looking at him? I don't know where he is. So there's McIver, and then there was, oh yeah, it was Dayton. Scouts are recommending us take Danny Dayton. He's 20 years old though. Hey, there's a guaranteed medium top 4 offensive defenseman though, and Eli Jocelyn. Not great stats, but he has good potential, so we'll take him because of the potential. 47 overall offensive defenseman, medium top 4. Don't think he's going to reach it, but you never know. You never know. Maybe he's going to just become a good AHL, or maybe he's not even going to get to this team. But still, I'd take another good prospect anyways in terms of potential. Yeah, this draft has dropped off a lot now. Do we take another goalie? Maybe, actually. Yeah, I think we're going to go with Thomas Henriksen here. Got to get just more goalies just in case we lose Comesso, right? So, eventually. Medium backup, 57 overall. A little bit low, but maybe becomes an AHLer at some point. And our last pick of the draft. What are we going to take? Oh, what the heck? Oh, do I not have a 7th rounder? Do I not have a 7th round? Oh, yeah, I don't have a 7th round pick this year. God damn it. Forgot about that. Teams are willing to trade away their 7th, but I don't know if it's worth trying to trade for a 7th rounder. Because there was that guy I was looking at that's 3-bar low elite. What would it cost me to get a 7th rounder here, Habs? What do you want? Can I just give you a 7th rounder for next year or something instead? And you guys will accept that? Oh, it looks like they can. Yeah, so we'll do our 7th rounder for next year for this 7th rounder just because we want to take a chance on this guy. But we could constantly do that. Just keep trading our 7th for the next 7th and stuff like that. So here we go. Let's see if that guy was actually worth trading for. Probably not, but you never know. So Matty Pakaslotti, let's see what you're like. Low elite 58 overall sniper. There you go. We got another good potential guy with that 7th round pick. So who knows, maybe this guy becomes a good goal scorer. He does have some pretty good shooting categories. So yeah, I do like that trade because you never know, that guy could pan out, and that trade will look like a really good trade. So not a bad draft for us at all. We get Niittymaki, Morris, and Ovechkin, who are all three 70-plus overall defenders. We also got Leddy, Tukio, Jocelyn, Henriksen, and Pakaslotti, but quite a bit of low elites and good potential players for this team. Very excited to see what those guys are like next season. Some of them will be already playing in the AHL, so let's get to this Resign stage portion and get this done with fast because this episode is already running a little bit long, but it is what it is. Got to get back to these scouts, considering these scouts have been doing an excellent job at finding some great steals for us, at least as of this draft. So we'll sign all of them up again because we want to have the best scouting pool in the entire NHL. So we could build up this team into being a dynasty. I don't know if it's going to become a dynasty at some point, but you never know. Took me a while to win with Arizona as well in NHL 22, but oh, we had a scout with the last name Niittymaki. I wonder if he was the one that scouted out that other Niittymaki, because that would have been kind of funny if he had to like scout out like his son or something, you know. So there you go in terms of that. So let's get to this Resign stage. I don't even know who's up for renewal. We only have 17 million in cap space. God damn. That's not a lot at all. That's not a lot at all. Let's qualify all of our RFAs at least, just because I don't really feel like giving them actual contracts yet. Let's give the guys that want two-way deals. Little's actually almost NHL already here. This low top 6. Oh, he's a first rounder, that's why. He actually looks really good. We might have to give that guy an opportunity next season. But let's qualify the rest of these RFAs here, or well, some of them. Or we'll probably let go of all the UFAs that were playing in the AHL. Because I do need to make room for some young guys coming in, obviously. Ludwinski I'm going to let go of. I don't need to qualify him. He's not going to pan out. We will sign... Yeah, you want a two-way deal anyways. Mickelson. I don't know if Mickelson comes back because we do need... Don't we need to make room for another goalie? Let me see. Oh, yeah, Donald. That's right. That's what I was thinking. So I don't know if I keep on to Mickelson in that sense. Mickelson's been a good AHL goalie, but he's not going to make the NHL because he's a backup and he's 24. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to qualify Mickelson just because of the fact Donald is going to be playing in the AHL next season. So, unfortunately, he's gone. Let me go to unsigned for a second and see who we got to sign up. Definitely Len Morris is getting a contract. I mean, 77 at 17, and he's AHL eligible. He's definitely getting a chance to play in the AHL next season. Nitamaki, who we drafted at our 9th overall pick. Do I wait a year on him, or do I let him play in the AHL at 75 at 17? I think I'm going to wait a year for him, maybe because of his top 4 potential, because I have seen top 4 stunt a lot. So I feel like if I sign him to his ELC right away, he might stunt. Ovechkin, on the other hand, I am going to sign him since he's a 71 and 18. Both those guys could play in the AHL next season. And then everybody else I'm going to hold out on for now. UFA-wise, we got to sign Avery Potter to his ELC as well, who we drafted a few years ago. Which means Isaac Phillips, you are gone. Krudel, you are gone for now as well. I think Semyukin's gone as well, who we traded for. Yeah, he's going to be gone. Regula and Schneider. I wouldn't mind bringing back Braden Schneider, to be honest. I think Alec Regula's time here is done, though. Because he's kind of more of a depth defenseman. Yeah, I think we're going to let go of Alec Regula here as well. Kind of clean house a little bit in terms of these guys that are up for renewal. And Braden Schneider for top 6 pairing wants like 3.8. That's not bad, really. But we do have other guys that worry about first. Let me just go to the bottom of this list. Schaefer, you are not going to make it. Duret, when are you drafted? 3rd round. I don't think you're going to make it, to be honest, either. Pielmeyer, 68, low lead at 20. A lot of good AHL players jumping into the AHL. We'll see if they end up panning out. Tepley, you are gone as well since you're an AHLer. Gogolev, I don't think you come back. You are just a random depth signing. Lucas Reichel and Braden Schneider are up. And then also Tarasov, you are gone. Thank you for your time here, man. You were okay at times, but last season, it just was not good hockey. Let's see, Lucas Reichel. 1.5 is not bad. He's been kind of a weird one because he hasn't really developed into that top 6 potential role, but he has picked up like 30 plus points a season, but his plus minus is a little bit of an issue. I wouldn't mind bringing him back just as a 4th line role kind of thing, or bottom 6 role, so yeah, let's do it, why not? And I will give Braden Schneider a 1-year deal as well. Let's just give him what he wants and see if he's actually willing to accept that. And that should be good. Let's advance a day to see if we get all those guys in. Hopefully we do. But yeah, our AHL team should be really good again next season with the addition of all these nice young players and the fact that they were actually a really good team last year. So Schneider rejected, which kind of sucks. All these RFAs are currently qualified, which is good. They won't cost too much, some of them. Braden Schneider, though. Let me just try the 395 for 1 year. See if he accepts that. If he does not accept that, I don't know. Oh, he's rejecting it still. Yeah, maybe we let go of Braden Schneider. Because more than $4 million for a top 6 defenseman is a bit iffy. He was okay with us last season. Only a -1 in 82 games. Huh. Do we bring him back? He's pretty solid, to be honest, but... Is he right-handed? Yeah, he is right-handed, too. I think I'm going to let him walk for now. We might bring him back in next episode, though. There's a chance of that. But all these guys being qualified, though, that won't add up to 16 million, so we definitely do still have room for some free agents, probably. But, wait, actually, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10... 10 players that are under RFA status right now, which means we don't even really have a lot of contract room, actually. Like, I think we only have a spot for one more player, so we might have to run with the team we have, which is not great. Like, our AHL has a lot of great players, but basically our NHL roster would be like Vance, Byfield, Pedersen, Nazar, Khrushchev, Zari, Reichel, Stankoven's here. And then we also have Olsen and Bales. Also, Will maybe jumps to the NHL. Halton, Recchi, and maybe Gavin Hayes. So that's 3. That's 3 as well. So 6, 9, 12, and then 14. Yeah, we have 14 roster players. So we might honestly not mean to make any signings. And then defensively, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'd have like some low leads that want to jump up to the NHL. Like Datsuk, we could play. We might need one more top 6 defenseman, basically. Because I wouldn't mind keeping Len Morris in the AHL for a little bit first before he gets to the NHL. But, yeah, our defensive prospect pool is nuts. With Morris, Nidomaki, Potter, Ovechkin, even Solovyov. Like, there is a lot of good AHL talent down there. And we have guys that are unsigned still, like Kavanaugh. And the medium elite DFD we drafted. I forgot about him and Lowry. So... yeah, our prospect pool is definitely coming together, but we are going to have to start letting go of some of these AHL type of guys because of the fact that, yeah, we need to make more room for more players. All these guys probably want two-way deals anyways, but most of them should accept in the next few days. But I don't really know if we need to make anything. We could definitely offload some contracts to make room for free agents, but we'll see what's available free agency-wise. I'll also show you guys the trading block in case you guys want me to make a blockbuster trade this offseason. Because, like I said, we could always look at trading somebody like Byfield and whatnot. Okay, so some RFAs are already accepting now at the AHL level, which is good. Okay, so let's take a look at what's available free agency-wise. Then take a look at the trading block. And then that will probably be it for this episode, I guess. Let's take a look at the top free agents in terms of centers. Sam Reinhart, Dylan Holloway. Yeah, some pretty solid centers. I don't really know what we need, though, on this team. We definitely probably don't need centers because we have so many of them. So I probably wouldn't look to bring any of these guys in unless it was more of like a depth player. But, yeah, we don't have really a lot of contract space, so it's a bit iffy. Unless we're actually, yeah, we might not actually have contract room. Never mind. Yeah, I think we might actually have contract spaces. Maybe all those RFAs were actually counting towards the contract spaces. So... but, yeah, let me show you guys all these free agents. Anyways, Johnny Gaudreau's the best left winger. Kubelik's there as well, who I think was, yeah, he was in Chicago, obviously. I don't know if we had him in franchise mode either, though. I don't think so. So there is all these left wingers. This guy is a 79 top 6 forward, 25 years of age. Don't know if he's going to pay now. Oh, it's Reed Schaefer. Okay. I thought it was an EA-generated guy at first. Fabian Lysell is even a free agent. So some low-risk guys. Kucherov is the best right winger. There's also Tomasino, Puljujärvi. I don't even know what I'm saying. There you go. There's the right wingers. Best defenders out there. Ivan Provorov, even though I hate that guy. Adam Pelech, Noah Hanifin, and Dante Fabro. Yeah, there's some good defenders out there if we want to get that self-set top 6 defenseman. Just because of, obviously, we don't want to be rushing that guy we just drafted late in the first round into the lineup. So I'd prefer to like a left-handed defenseman if we look for anything for our top 6 pairing. So I'll continue to scroll down here so you guys can see kind of guys that are fitting that top 6 role potentially. Oh, there's Emberson, but we don't really need a right-handed defenseman, I don't think. Allen... 79 at 24. Oh, he's an RFA. Okay, I thought he was going to be a UFA for some reason. Olsen, 79 at 26. Might be okay. Yeah, Anton Olsen might be an okay top 6 defenseman. I don't know. And then goalie-wise, in case we wanted to... Actually, we do need to find a backup goalie since we let go of Tarasov. I forgot about that. So that's something we need to look for sure, is a backup goaltender. Which, I mean, there's a couple of them. DiPietro, Comrie, Allmark, Matt Murray, I think that is still at 35. Yeah. And Noonan, Hunter Jones. A lot of older goalies, but we could take a chance on somebody even like Cranley, who's an 80 at 27. Try and find a good backup for us for at least one season. 79 at 26, Ian Blomqvist. This guy has an X factor. Contortionist. You know what? Since he has an X factor, I think this guy might be a good perfect fit for the backup. Since he's got the X factor, he's only wanting $800,000. So he might be a perfect backup option for this team. So there is free agent wise. Let's take a quick look at the trading block. Sorry that this episode's going close to 40 minutes. Let's see if there's anything interesting out there that we could potentially trade for if we are to move out somebody like Byfield or Pedersen, that type of thing. So Sam Girard's on the block in Arizona. It's funny. So I guess that's where he signed. Strome, nothing important. If we want to find that like top line playmaker, this would be the time. Gabriel Landeskog still playing at 36 as a power forward. Nishushkin's there. Newhook. Ooh, Alex Newhook might be the type of guy. Might be the type of guy. If we moved out Byfield, we could get Newhook in like a first round pick probably. But I don't know why Colorado would want Byfield. But Newhook picks up a good amount of offense. He's a playmaker, and he probably would help out Vance's production, my guess. But there's also like guys like Houghton, Schmaltz, Zach Werenski, Boquist. There's a lot of actually good players on the block right now. Just the question is which one of them would make our team better. Raymond, Zadina, Texier. Yeah, there's a lot of good players. So this might be definitely the time to make a blockbuster trade for next episode. But I don't really know what type of thing. Damn, Robertson's dropping off a lot in Montreal. Probably because he's a lack of ice time. But he's only an 80 overall and 29, still exact elite potential. So I guess they are ruining his career basically. Brock Besser's on the block. What else have we got here? Pesci, Ransom, Bernard Dockers, Siegenthaler, so a lot of defenders as well. If we wanted to trade for a top 6 defender instead. Because we definitely have assets. Nick Baudin, our former defender. That's funny. Or, well, he would have been not on this team at the beginning of the franchise mode, I don't think. Maybe he was, actually. And that is basically that. Also, Ehlers and Kerfoot. Ehlers is a left-wing playmaker, which is interesting because we could play Vance back at center and use Ehlers right next to him. The only thing is Ehlers is signed for 4 years at 33, so I don't really like that. Kerfoot's a two-way. So that's the trading block. Final few things. Let me actually just show you guys what our roster again, just so you guys have it known and in your head what we have and what we don't. So there's our goaltending. We could always run Ratslav as our backup next season. He was the best goalie in the AHL this last season, so maybe it's the time to give Ratslav a go. Defensively, it's looking like this. Obviously, I'm not sure about playing Len Morse in the NHL just yet. He is actually left-handed, but he plays right D, so he might get 1 year in the AHL and then be in the NHL, or maybe halfway through the season get called up. But I wouldn't mind giving a shot to somebody who's already 22, and that's Artem Datsuk. So we'll probably try him next season in our top 6. So we probably need a top 6 defender and a depth defenseman. Then we got 2 there, 3 more there, or 2 more there at least, so 4, and then a bunch of centers still. A bunch of centers. We actually go to the trade finder for some reason. I just want to see what Byfield could fetch us potentially at this stage. And same with Pedersen, just to kind of take notes of this and see if there's any new trade offers. So Byfield, Soderstrom a 3rd and a 4th. It's not really a great trade, to be honest. That's on an open block. And Ville Pedersen, Brock Besser, and then 2 second-round picks. No, thank you. Interesting. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to free agency, and we'll start up the season simulation. And I'm hoping that this team can get back to the playoffs, but I'm definitely not holding my breath. So let me guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.